Two dads and a Chaz putting trophies on the wall. Two dads and a Chaz is talking Green Bay Packers football. Not exactly qualified, but answers the call. Two dads and a Chaz talking Green Bay Packers football. We gonna break it all down, probably leave out some facts. We gonna make some statements that we'll likely regret. Most of gossip and rumors made straight off the top. So crank up the air conditioning, cause it's bound to get hot. Two dads and a Chaz, you know we live it and we live it right. Two dads and a Chaz, we gonna break down football for you tonight. Besides them rings and putting trophies on the wall. Trophies, y'all. Two dads and a Chaz is talking Green Bay Packers football. Yeah, we're talking Green Bay Packers football.
Welcome to Two Dads and a Chaz podcast, the Green Bay Packer podcast with the Dad Podcast. We're fuckable to some, we're loved by most, and we're hated by few, and that's fine by us. We are here to share our love, thoughts, and most importantly, to soothe our fan-driven, obsessive-compulsive anxieties surrounding our beloved Green Bay Packers. We're not writers. We're not journalists or really professionals of any kind. But what we are Hall of Fame, all-pro Packer fans who take this game seriously. Now, we're going to make up some rumors and some unwarranted assumptions, probably judgments about some iconic professional athletes that we've never even met. So if you've got cheese in your veins, beer on your breath, and Packers in your heart, welcome home, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
However, disclaimer. This podcast might not be right for children, as we use crude language and profanity. So here's 5 seconds to turn off your feed. Hey, you're still here. That means Two Dads and a Chaz is the place for you. So, welcome. I am your host with the most, Chaz, a.k.a. the Wisco Kid. Stop it. He'll cook you some tots, and if he's playing you in flag football, he'll get you some stops. Tyson, a.k.a. T-Bone. T-Bone, how you feeling tonight?
I am feeling fabulous, gentlemen. Let me tell you, it is, you'd think by now, this late in the week, the afterglow of watching Tom Brady cry on the sidelines about how you gotta call a timeout when you're out of timeouts. Like, I love that. But like just watching him lose and us win, man, it fills my heart.
This next dad needs no introduction. But here's one anyway. He is the porcelain-faced zaddy of the group. He's the Baileys in your morning coffee. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Aaron Mayhew.
Jazzy boy, T-Bone. Always good to be shoulder to shoulder with you fine folk. I also am in shock still. What are we, like 4 or 5 days later? And the boys came home with a W. What can I say? You know what? I'll tell you what I'm going to say. I'm gonna pose a question to you both real quick. If I were to tell you, Packers are playing a game on Sunday, right? They're going to score 14 total points all in the first half. Aaron Rodgers is going to throw an interception. We're going to fumble the ball on the fucking goal line to give up another 7. Do you think we win that game, boys? Does anybody on this planet likely think that we win this game in the NFL today? The answer is no. I'm going to stop you right there. Don't talk. Shut up. I could not be prouder of the way this team came away with that win, and I'm really excited to break down the tape. Let's dive in, Chaz. Let's do this thing.
A couple of things right off the bat offensively. Romeo Doubs, obviously the rookie of the week. Can I get an amen? Can I get an amen? An amen. Thank you, gentlemen. Amen. Thank you so much. I also want to talk about Cobb. Now, I was hearing on Packers websites the yak effect. Anybody else hear this? Yards after carry. This motherfucker is averaging 8.6 yards after the carry, which is the 4th best in the league. Those are just two of the minimal topics I want to talk about on the offense, just because they stood out so big. Tyson, I feel like you got something to say about this. You want to hit me with either one of those?
Oh, man, I'll tell you what. Aaron told me, said this feels like a Romeo Doubs day, and he was not wrong. It was definitely a coming out party of Romeo Doubs. 8 for 8. This fucking guy, all you got to do is give him the ball, and he's going to make plays. Even the ones that didn't work, worked. Like, I loved what I saw out of him. And I don't know. I don't know what you guys see, but I see a number one receiver because we had Lazard on the field and he was not – Lazard was setting up Dobbs. It made sense. The guy just can move. The guy can just do stuff other guys can't. And also, I love how we're using Lazard. But, man, Romeo Dobbs. And then also, clearly, Randall Cobb took his HGH cereal. He is moving like a younger man. I love what's going on right now. I'm all for it. I say you keep going to GNC, you keep meeting with Tito in the back, and you keep getting it done, son, because this is what we need. This is what we wanted when Aaron Rodgers leveraged you back on our team. I wanted to see fast, quick Randall Cobb, and that's what I'm getting. Maybe if he keeps this up, fuck it, let him return some kicks.
Mayhew, any thoughts on that, my friend?
I can only reiterate a lot of what Tyson said already. Romeo Dobbs, wide receiver 1, he sure looked the part on Sunday, boys. And it's like the confidence level of he looks like he has an understanding of like the playbook. Like we're only a couple weeks in here, but like he's running the right routes. Aaron Rodgers looks like he's believing in him more. You talk about play speed. This guy's just explosive comparatively to like what else we have on the roster. Now we talk about Randall Cobb, man. Guys catching passes that were supposed to go for 8-9 yards tops, yards after catch. Just like you said, Chaz. Breaks it for like 40 yards. I'm like, who is this guy? Who is this guy? Just an injection of, man, hope came in that first half focus. And I think the thing with Alan Lazard too is he's playing his role. The guy, he's not a separation machine. Okay. He's never gonna be that take the top off the defense. Speed isn't there. But he is reliable as fuck when it comes to catching the ball. Aaron Rodgers trusts him. And Tyson and I both agree that he might be the best blocking wide receiver in like the game. The guy wants to be that role. You know what I mean? Couple of bad penalties throughout the day that bothered me. I'm not going to lie. But overall, I think the wide receiver core had a really solid day. It just did.
Tyson, favorite Packer moment. What are you thinking?
Oh, I got to say it was Romeo Dobbs getting in for his first touchdown, arms up. Like, just like excited. That was a nasty hit. It didn't even feel it. Like, it was just, I'll remember that probably forever. It was a good look. Favorite moment.
Mayhew, quick action. What do you got?
For me, guys, it was number 25. This kid stood out to me the entire day, honestly, once I realized he was on the field. Keyshawn Nixon with his punch out, first forced fumble of the day. Textbook, everything you want out of a cornerback when we like needed, like things were kind of shifting the other direction on our team. And it was an incredible turnover. That one stood out to me without a doubt.
Amazing. For me, it's got to be Devondre Campbell, end of the game, batting it down, just sinking it in for us. We're going to get more into how the game progressed, but those are just some of our favorite moments. Thank you, gentlemen. The last week final dust has settled now. Let's talk about a couple of things, all right? Let's talk about the defense versus the defense. The reason that this game was this game, it came down to two things, and it was their defense against our defense. Supposedly the number one defense in the NFL versus the defense we've all been hearing about for this entire season, which we were hoping would show up. I think they kind of did this game. It doesn't mean that it was perfect. Mayhew, I'm going to kick it off to you. Defense versus defense. Hit it.
Thank you, Chaz. And I'm going to play a little devil's advocate here, Tyson, okay? Because game opened up, all right? 3 straight drives from the Packers of what I thought was like some of the more brilliant play calling we've seen all year. Great play execution, perfect mix of like run and pass, caught the defense off guard. We were moving the ball easily. Like I said, fumble at the goal line, and from then on out, it was difficult, man. And come halftime, they clearly made some changes that I've tried to go back and look at like the tape again and again and again, and I'm not exactly sure what they did necessarily, but the second half was a completely different game, okay? In my opinion, best inside linebacking core in the entire league. Levante David and Devin White are just ridiculous, man. It's everything I'm hoping for with like Campbell and Walker. Speed side to side, physicality. Like you can't run the ball on this team. And that's what happened in the second half, which I think really kind of decimated our offensive, like, you know, play calling in general. But at the safety position too, I love Antoine Winfield Jr. They kind of played that guy in slot all game long, which they've been doing like the entire year. And man, I was impressed by their ability to basically kind of shut us down the entire second half after, man, Tyson, we were basically like nothing could go wrong those first couple of drives. So honestly, man, defensively, Tampa Bay is top in the league, in my opinion. What are your thoughts, Tyson?
Well, my thoughts were I was scared. I was scared out of my skin coming into this game. I was worried. How in the world are we going to line up against this defense with this offense, the way that they've been playing? You know, it's a big jump. You know, I need to get rid of the ball quick. We're going to need to run the ball early. We're going to need to block on wide receivers and have all of our timing right. We can't fuck up on the offensive line at all. And guess what? We did all that stuff. How about that? I would never have expected us to be able to hold the line against this defense. I thought for sure this was going to be a 6-sack game for Rodgers, couple picks. And if we won, it's because our defense showed up. And what happened is our defense showed up, but their defense had a hard time with us. Our offense, Rodgers' timing, footwork, I'm sorry, this dude's the fucking champ. When you see Rodgers operate the way he did that game, he's setting guys up. Our plays were running, the plays we were running just flawlessly, running Dobbs across the entire offense is going the opposite direction and like just timing it out perfect. Like when it's operating on that level, when Rodgers is dialed into that level and all the components are moving and we're running the plays the way they're supposed to, I'm starting to think I don't give a shit who the defense is. It's tough to stop perfection. You got to be perfect too. Like it's a lot easier to break us down when we're not executing. And we weren't holding on to the ball. That's the other thing. They were getting there. They were. It doesn't matter if you don't hold on to the ball for any time. That's what we need to do against big games. That's the kind of play I want to see in big situations, not against shitty teams where we can run up the score and look like world beaters. I want to see it against the real teams, and I did. So I got to say our defense played really well, but our offense really outperformed their defense. Like, I can't believe that that's how it went down, but that's kind of how it went down. And our defense definitely stepped up big time in big situations, especially at the end of the game. It couldn't be a bigger situation. I was ready to go to overtime. I was sure it was happening. You know, I can't tell you how happy I am that our defense grew a backbone, grew a spine, and actually fucking stood up and said no more. Fucking done. And our corners act like corners. I'm really satisfied with the play of our defense and who was getting pressure and how they were getting it. And I don't think anyone on the Bucs expected that game to go that way on either side of the ball.
I think it's also worth noting, Tyson, that their top 3 wide receivers were all sitting on the sidelines during this game. Okay, they pulled Cole Beasley off the fucking streets, plugged him in there. So I'm happy. Defensively, we seem to always give up the first drive of the game to like get our bearings for whatever fucking reason, but they tightened up and they played a really solid game, incredibly solid. But I just want to kind of temper the expectations a little bit, given the circumstances of what Tampa Bay, was dealing with that day too.
Also, if Rodgers wouldn't have gone and cheated with the Jumbotron, I don't know that they would have stopped playing fucking zone like everyone was screaming, hey, you know what Tom Brady's kind of built a fucking Hall of Fame career around? Is you becoming a little pansy and playing too deep shell and be like, I don't know. Let's just give up a little and not give up a lot. And this guy's like, perfect. This is what I do. I take a little over and over and dog walk you down the fucking field over and over again. It looked like my nightmare, my recurring nightmare was coming right back again. And then something changed, and we got to stop.
Gentlemen, I'm going to move on just a little bit because there were some things that also bothered me, especially in that first half. And it's going to come down to, on our side, play clock management. Now, we had, in the first half, we had 3 third and goals that I don't know if it was offensive coaching. I don't know if it was just rookie mistakes. I don't know if it was Aaron calling audibles, but we gave up 3 third downs and called timeout when obviously we didn't need to. And by the way, when I said I don't know if it was for any of those 3 mistakes, I know that we all know what it was. But I have to bring it up because it was so infuriating to me watching that game. Tyson, can you talk a little bit about maybe a little bit of what they were thinking about, what they could have done better, and mostly who's to blame?
Oh man, I've had frustrations with the Packers clock management since Brett Favre left the team. I don't think it's a coincidence that when Brett Favre left the team, these things started to happen, because I feel like this is a Rodgers thing. And Maggie, you were just telling me something about his mentality, about timeouts in general. He was saying, even on that Pat McAfee show earlier this week, how, he went to LaFleur and was like, oh, be free to use that timeout. We don't need that. I mean, it's only going to be, 15, 20 seconds? We're not going on the field with that, so use it. And I'm like, that's surprising to me. But I don't think he thinks his timeouts as a strategy tool as much as like something that you're not going to use when you're dead. So let's just throw out. I don't know. I don't really understand it, but it drives me up the wall, because it seems like we just shit him out because someone had a hunch it didn't work out. Mayhe, what do you think about this? I know this drives you up the fucking wall.
It does, and we touch on it seems like every episode. I came across what I thought was some decent quotes here from A-Raj. This is coming off of Packer Central Fan Nation. Bill Huber is a writer. Asked him obviously a similar question, and Rodgers' response was, in regards to why we tend to go through so many timeouts, is quarter, momentum, down and distance, score of the game, and the feasibility of getting us into some kind of a positive play. You hate using them like we used a couple in the first half, but second half, you really think about, what can I get us into a situation to get a better play? But there's certain situations, scores, momentum, where it's better to have a conversation on the sideline. Make sure we got the perfect call and regroup instead of trying to force something. Sometimes there's a look that they give us on defense that we just can't block up, or it's going to be a negative play, and there's not anything to get into based on the formation we've in. You've got to burn one and get in a better formation, change it up. It's a feel. You take in all of those factors. So
longest on-running sentence I've ever heard.
But he touches on, I think, the opposite of what Tyson was saying there, where I think for him, it's not a matter of like the play call coming in and like they're not set up. He has studied defensive schemes now for decades, it feels. And when he thinks that it's going to be an absolute failure, he gets nervous. And he tends to do this in big plays, Chaz, like third and goal, third down situations where you think it could be like, game-changing plays. So I'm torn, boys, because from the sidelines that I watch, I'm just like, what are you doing? Because it seems to happen every game. And it's more that I don't see other teams doing the same thing. No. But I read a quote like this, and I guess at the end of the day, I gotta trust this guy. You guys feel different?
I feel like his aggressive risk analysis that he's already deemed is like, this is within the realms of my job. I'm not going to ask if it's okay. I'm just going to do it because technically no one can stop me from it. Like, I don't know. I think that I can't tell. There's no data to prove that he saved us from anything that bad happened. So I have to say, I fucking hate it. It drives me crazy. But I also don't know. Like, it could have gotten worse. Who knows?
I think it's tough for me too, because first half, do whatever you want to. You know what I mean? But second half, inevitably, when we do burn them, always when we fucking need them at the end of the game. And you look back and it's like, really? Like, call a better call? I don't know. There's got to be something that we're doing wrong in that regard. It just needs to get tweaked.
I'm like, what if they get the 2-point on the first try? We kick the ball off. Amari somehow gets a 30-yard return. Now we're looking at like 11 seconds and we have a timeout. We can win the fucking game. Yeah, you keep the timeout, dipshit, right? Don't you? I mean, that's what you do in Madden. And I'm not brilliant. I know that's how it works. We gotta stop. We gotta stop talking about that.
I mean, there's a bunch of things we can talk about. I mean, the mistakes made as far as on our third downs with those. I mean, we had 5 in a row that we didn't convert on. We can talk about Jones. I mean, that amazing carry all the way down, and Jones literally gets popped literally at the 2. He just got hit just the right way. And Jones, I mean,
ball was like this far behind him.
Right.
This far. And it's amazing because Rodgers was so dialed in that day that, like, you notice that was one of the only balls that literally wasn't perfect. It wasn't exactly where you'd want it to be to continue momentum. He had to actually turn around. And I think it just threw him off because, like, everything's been perfect that day. And someone jacks you in the back, fumbles.
And again, like that takes me right to my next point. Like, when I saw that hit, of course, the first thing I thought was, please don't lose the ball. But then the next immediate thought about a half second later was, please don't be hurt. Please don't be hurt, because it looked like he could have snapped a C5, C6 into the spinal cord. So, I mean, I got to talk about moving into our next segment here. Injury report. And again, this is kind of like a segment. I'm going to give you a couple of names. Some you've heard, some of you haven't. Obviously, Jair got put on the injured list. Dion is on the injured list. Watson, Lazard, Jenkins. You know what? Let's just throw Bakhtiari on there, because who fucking knows at this point if he's playing or not, even though I think we do know. But gentlemen, I don't want to talk too much about the injuries because we're midway through the week. Any thoughts, first and foremost? I mean, some of these really hurt during that game as far as the way our blood pressure went. Mayhew, thoughts?
My interpretation here, Chaz, is the most possibly disastrous is Jair, right? Star cornerback, and it's a groin situation. So guy came out on like play 6 on Sunday, I want to say. What I do know is he went through a jog through yesterday in practice, sat out today, but everything at least is trending towards this is not like a long-term thing. I think they're going to play it safe, play it careful, especially with the play of Keyshawn, coming in last week, making us feel a little bit better there. Wide receiver wise, Christian Watson back at practice. Alan Lazard seems like he's playing through that ankle. And then when it comes to the offensive line, I think David Bakhtiari, it's like a Mercedes Lewis situation. They're going to practice this guy like once a week, maybe. Take it slow. He can fucking go out there on game day and get it done. So, like, what does it matter? Elton Jenkins, same thing. I think these guys will play through and get healthier as the year progresses, fingers crossed. But if you see their names in and out of the injury report, just ignore it.
Absolutely, Aaron. I completely agree that it is like almost unnecessary to mention all of these injuries, especially like Lazard, Bakhtiari, Jenkins. These are guys that are going to be on this list every single week. So, like, what does it mean? It means that they're playing through some shit and they're football players. Also, do you see Bakhtiari play? Is it me or does that dude have the longest left leg you've ever seen in your life? Like, when he stood out with his arm out, I'm like, that guy's got to be 20 feet long. Like, he just looks ridiculous. Anyway, I feel like his stance is wider and longer than most left tackles. That's all I have to say about that.
Oh, I can't wait to talk about that further on in the season. But right now, we've got to go to our first commercial break. When it's 4th and goal and the game is on the line, when your legs are cramping and the bone is sticking through the skin, well, then you need Quench. Made from the tears of players who've lost the Super Bowl. Quench. It's made with well water, salt, lime, and meat. For that huck it, chuck it performance you know you need, then guess what you need? Quench. The official sport beverage of Two Dads and a Chess podcast. Quench. By no means are we affiliated with them, but also, yes, they are the official Two Dads and a Chaz podcast beverage.
You say there's meat in the
let's not talk about it. Gentlemen, let's move right on to something we've been dogging on for a couple of weeks now. Guys, special teams fucking showed up. Special teams for us nailed it this week, in my opinion. Now, I'm not saying Amari. We've been dogging on Amari for a couple of weeks now. But guys, the we-fence with Pat O'Donnell. Holy shit, what a fucking superstar. 5 kicks inside the 20-yard line. I mean, he's finally moved out of Crosby's basement. Good for him. He is ranked higher than most. Boys, can we give it up just a little bit? Just a little bit. Maybe.
Cheers to special teams, guys. Let's get a drink and a cheers.
Let's get one. Let's get one.
Seriously, cheers to them. Because this is not something that most people would celebrate. Like, hey, we're the middle of the pack, goddammit, we did it. But like, that's what we wanted, right? We just didn't want to be the worst or near the worst. And now we're heading towards the better, which is better than the bad. I mean, I don't know what else to say other than like, let's just keep on sailing, baby. Sailing takes me away. I just want to sail with the special teams and keep it floating nice and steady. Find your wind, boys. Find your wind.
Yeah, Chaz, Pat O'Donnell, as far as like what jersey I'm continuing to buy, it's this motherfucker. Seriously. I think what it is that I've never experienced a special teams unit that's actually helped us in the capacity that I'm watching. You know what I mean? That Tampa Bay game was all about field position. And we continuously, Tampa Bay was in their goddamn end zone like the entire fucking game. It was huge, just huge. And I swear to God, there was at least one time where Rudy Ford, another man who we paid hefty for, as far as like a gunner, I don't care. That guy is a difference maker. And I swear there was one punt where he was down there sipping on a cup of coffee, waiting for the fucking ball to drop down. That's how good the punt was. Like, yeah, it's fun. Honestly, I get excited about punting, which is really, really odd, except for when the ball is coming the other direction. And that brings me to a segment I like to call Sorry, Amari, because each week I'm going to continue to bring up your name.
Oh, no.
And the poor guy, he actually had a really good punt return that took us like inside their 30-yard line.
And they robbed him. They
Penalty.
robbed him.
And they
ended
gave
up-
him a concussion and sent him on his way. Try again.
What Tyson and I were talking about this, Chaz, is that like, okay, it's like the mentality of like these punt returners. It's just like different. I feel like Amari, like he's just hoping to catch that ball and like not fuck up. And that's not the mentality you need to have. Tyson, like, you know what I'm talking about, right?
I feel like every time he's back there, like Gutekunst is like has a thing in his ear being like, all right, dude, this
How do you spell that, by the way?
you got to make me not look like an asshole. This is the return, okay? This is where it's going to turn around. And it's just like too much pressure. I don't know. I don't understand. I've said this before. I'll say it again. I don't understand what we're doing with Rodgers yet, with this Amari Rodgers project. But due to the Rodgers cheer, I have to stand by it and believe there's a bigger thing at play here. Something's going to happen. It's going to be great.
I can't wait for you to actually sing Rodgers to Rodgers on this podcast when it finally happens. Don't do it.
No, but what we need from a kick returner is not Rodgers. Rodgers is like Amari Rodgers has some kind of value to himself. What we need is like a Devin Hester. Devin Hester had absolutely no sense of value to himself. Like he started running before he even looked at what was happening. That's what we need. We need a guy who's going to catch the ball, just start running, and then look and see like, oh my God, how much danger am I actually in? Doesn't matter. I don't care about myself. I just got to keep going. Like I don't think Devin Hester owned a car. I don't think that he had a house. I think he was like renting an apartment. He's leasing a car. Like he didn't have anything in Chicago. He was sure he was going to get cut. And the only way this wasn't going to happen is if he caught this ball and ran it for a fucking touchdown. That was it. There's not enough desperation in Amari. I need Amari to come back to earth and realize, I'm sorry, buddy. You're not fucking shit. You are not important. And what you need to do is play like you have no business being on this team, and we're going to cut you if you don't do it. Because that's probably where you're at.
What do you got to say, bub?
Boys, I just want to add one quick layer to this scenario here. So we recently added a man named Corey Ballentine to the practice squad. Okay, this guy is a cornerback, drafted like in the 6th round a couple of years ago. You know what I mean? And I thought it was perhaps like Jair got injured, bringing up, just taking a look at a guy. That might be true. I also know that this guy has returned over 36 NFL kickoffs for an average of 24.4 yards per return. Not too shabby. So my hunch is that maybe we're taking a look at a little something. And whether this guy maybe comes in, doesn't even get a look. I mean, I could be wildly off here, but maybe he does. And at the very least, maybe lights a fire under fucking Amari's ass. Because like you said, Tyson, he needs to be desperate. This guy needs to play like his career depends on it. Whatever it takes at this point.
Because it does.
This guy's an extra spare tire on a car that already has a spare tire. We don't fucking need it. We need to realize you're not valuable. You need to play like you could get cut because you should have already been fucking cut. I need that out of his eyes or get him off the kick return team because that's who we need.
I got to go to a tweet real quick, gents. The first one is it's something we haven't touched on a while. People are asking about it. They want to hear just from this last game. Whose jersey would you buy this week? Mayhew, whose jersey, if you had to, for us, obviously not for them, who would you buy?
Look, Pat O'Donnell, I already kind of mentioned.
May you coming live from Pat O'Donnell's trunk.
But I'll keep coming back to my boy, Keyshawn Nixon, man, number 25. I swear to God, it was a busy household where I was at. And I honestly missed Jair going out, basically trying to like watch my daughter run around a garage. And all of a sudden I'm like, Tyson, who's number 25? You're like, I don't know. And then lo and behold, this guy ended up being a star of the game. So yeah, Keyshawn, I'll buy that jersey. I bet it'll be on discount, man.
Wait, Chaz, what do you got? Who are you taking?
Me personally, I mean, it's a bit of a throw up, but I gotta go Devondre Campbell again, baby. He had an amazing game. He was holding down the back of that line.
You look like Devondre Campbell from last year. He looked like the guy that you couldn't believe nobody wanted because he's out fucking rageous. I gotta say, for my jersey selection, I got to go with old 12. I'm going with Rodgers, dude. You cannot beat this man's footwork. I don't know if you if you watch some of these breakdown films that people put on YouTube, and more power to you, man. Quarterback School, TJ Sullivan, man, that shit's fucking good. Like, that's a good program. I got to give props. But like him breaking down Aaron Rodgers' footwork, on how he makes the most of every body movement, how he's moving guys with his eyes and with his head, just to like, use that torque to like throw a rifle right to the fucking guy where there's not a way that you get back, because I mean it's 12, dude. 12 is what makes this thing unstoppable when he's tight.
Thank you for sending in those tweets, ladies and gentlemen. Those are just our predictions. Maybe spend some money on those jerseys, whatever. If you want to get jerseys with our names on them, yeah, we won't get any money, but here we go. Well, we got to talk a little bit about next week, gentlemen. We do have to at least start talking about some strengths and some weaknesses of the Pats, because that's what we're coming into. The fucking Patriots. Gentlemen, how are they going to attack us? What is it we need to be aware of? What is it we need to be looking out for? And what can we do to neutralize said attack? Mayhew, I'm going to give it to you.
I want to make one thing real clear out of the gate here, and I'm guilty of it already. I just feel like we're so much better than this team that we're going to fucking smoke them on Sunday. And I've been telling everybody to listen that fact. I need to back the fuck up because Bill Belichick, he's a master.
A cheetah.
And Chaz, you're talking about strengths and weaknesses. Like, what is this team like? It's like us in a lot of ways, man, except they just don't have an elite quarterback. They love to fucking run the ball. All right. They got two backs that, pretty high caliber here. Ramondre Stevenson and Damian Harris, and strong offensive line. That's something Bill Belichick always preaches. And like defensively too, they'll find out what you like to do and they'll take it away from you. He's been doing that for years. So I imagine, man, we're going to try to come out and run the ball. They're going to stop it. And then it's going to be like, hey, what are we going to do now? Kind of a situation. On the offensive side of the ball, anybody that's been paying attention knows that their star quarterback, Mac Jones, basically high ankle sprain. Likely not going to play. Heard a quote today too. He's like, hey, don't count me out. Even if he isn't, he's had a pretty shitty year thus far. But an admirable foe. Behind him is Brian Hoyer, journeyman, one of Tyson's favorites growing up as a kid, I know. But it can. I'm just saying, don't overlook these guys because there could be some difficulties on Sunday. Tyson, how do you feel about it?
Yeah, I'm a huge Hoyer fan. I love lifelong, capable third string cuttable options that have always had potential, but definitely had no spine. Yeah, I'm into those guys. Just I'll line them up. Anyway, but no, I completely agree. I think that this team, if this team's going to beat us, it's going to be with tight ends and running backs and with defense. Guess what? This is one of those games Bill Belichick, old master Splinter and his rotten balls, likes to show up and say, hey, you know what? You think we got nothing? Let me show you what we got. Because they still have a fucking great defense. And he will scheme to break down our game plan. He's been doing this longer than LaFleur's been alive, okay? Let's not forget, this is the current day Lombardi, all right? Whether I respect him or not is irrelevant. He is a winner in terms of defensive shutting down of a foe that he knows. But guess what? He doesn't fucking know us. We don't play the Patriots hardly ever, okay? He's worried about who's starting, which quarterback, what's going on here. I think that where they have a real advantage is at the tight end position. And I think that this could be a big game for our middle linebackers if they continue that trajectory. So I really think that their tight ends are underutilized. Their backup can't throw over 30 yards, and he might be starting. So he's going to lean on those big tight ends because he doesn't know what else to do. He also can't handle pressure. So, like, we're definitely going to bring pressure at him, which means he's dumping off to those running back fucking gangbang squad that they have over there. The fucking Patriots, you can't tell me a star running back they've had since fucking Corey Dillon, because all they do is stock with a bunch of guys that like are exactly what I'm talking about, Devin Hester types. They're like, I got to run like my life's going to end because I'm going to get cut any minute. That's their whole running back crew. And you can't, none of them are important. And as soon as they are, the whole dichotomy falls apart. So he has to continuously break these guys down while they're definitely starter caliber running backs. So the key is we need to come out early, punch Belichick right in the dick, because his pride is the defense. If we can fucking run it down their throat and take his dick and be like a speed bag, like, and like just keep doing it until he's like, my dick, you know. Even him with his old cut sleeves, he's gonna slowly get down to the fetal position and realize, yeah, this is not a game for us. He's going to give up. And that's what I want to see because they got nothing else. Fuck the Pats.
I think, honestly, Chaz, it's a similar game plan to what we saw this last Sunday. We didn't touch on it, but Leonard Fournette was neutralized, boys. End of the day, I think he had under 40 yards, averaged like 2.3 or something like that. Defensive line was getting it done. Inside linebacker play, I thought, was outstanding. And if you want to talk about a wide receiver core, it's not impressive, boys. They got coming in as their star is like Jacoby Myers. He's coming off an injury, supposed to be playing this week. I think the most rounded receiver they have. Nelson Aguilar came over from Philly, I want to say, had like one really big game. Capable, sure, but not intimidating. And then Devontae Parker was like their offseason acquisition. I thought it was going to make some.
Watch out for that guy. I got a bad feeling about Devontae Parker.
Tyson, he's been the most quiet fucking person on the planet thus far. Not saying it can't happen. I guess my point being is I feel good about our secondary against that core, just like I did against Tampa's, backup. So Chaz, you load the box, you shut down the run, don't let anything get past you on the back end, and offense just needs to kick it into high gear. Like they got some tight ends. Tyson's absolutely right, but I don't think it's the kind of explosive offense where we need to be intimidated. We just got to put up like 24 points, and this game is going to be an easy win.
We got to get pressure on whoever that quarterback is. I don't give a shit. If it's Mac Jones, he's good at getting rid of the ball under pressure. If it's Brian Hoyer, he's not. He's going to be very predictable. I expect Quay Walker or Devontae Campbell, if Hoyer's the quarterback, one of them is going to get a pick because he's going to throw it right to him under pressure. And we should keep pressure on either of these quarterbacks the entire game. Seriously, I will be frustrated if we respect them enough to go into a two deep shell and let him potentially carve us up with zone breakers like we've been carved up this year. That will be very, very, very frustrating to watch. I think the main thing is we need to come out into, the constant cliche, punch them in the mouth. But really, that's what we need to do. I want to see double moves and deep routes. I want to see the fucking offensive line do their job. I want to see them hold the fucking line for 4 or 5 seconds, maybe 6. And let's see Rodgers uncork one against this subpar secondary. And I want to see, dude, all we need is 2 deep balls and their whole defensive strategies out the window. They can't guard the whole field. They really, really can't. They're planning on taking away the middle of the field in short routes because that's what we've done all year. If we can beat them on long routes, something we haven't done all year, their whole game plan's out the window. We got to go deep early. That's my suggestion.
I got to touch on something real quick here because I think this brings up a really valid point, at least like in my eyes, because this has been going on for multiple weeks now, is that this team wants to throw the ball. The Packers, I'm talking about. Elite quarterback with fucking speed. If you go back and watch these games, guys, we have receivers open. Lots of receivers open. What we are struggling with is pass protection, man. Aaron Rodgers deserves a medal for like the work that he's done with what's going on because he's got 2 seconds, sometimes less, to actually get rid of the ball. Now I'm hoping that with, Bakhtiari back and like Elton Jenkins, these guys kind of getting healthy, that the unit can come together. But until they do, this offense is going to be what we've seen thus far. It's really difficult to get chunk plays and to do what we want to do if we don't have time, man. Everything relies on the offensive line. And I kind of want to dive into that a little bit, boys, because I got something on my mind here. A lot of pundits been speaking on this as well. But it's the idea of the best 5 guys being out on the field at the same time, right? So Bakhtiari, left tackle, dialed in. Elton Jenkins, right side. That's our guy. Josh Myers and healthy in the center? Absolutely. The guy we need to discuss here is Josh Nyman, who has been more than serviceable at left tackle, and with Bakhtiari being out. This guy could start for like any team in the NFL right now, honestly. And if the other 2 tackle positions are filled, what's like the thought there? Now, my initial thought is we kick this guy out to right tackle, where I actually looked up. He has actually played a year in college, so there's familiarity, there's some comfort level. And then you take Elton Jenkins, man, that guy's played every position on the line. So what do we need? My opinion is Royce Newman needs to get on the fucking bench. We can put him in and we can slip him into right guard there. And all of a sudden our top 5 pass protection's that much better. Run blocking gets better. I mean, Tyson, you feel differently?
I think it's a risky move, right? Because you take a guy who's been a proven safety net at left tackle, and you needed that for the first fraction of the year. I don't think they're ready to move him to right tackle yet. But I think if we get one more injury to guard or one more subpar guard play, that makes a lot of sense to me. You kick him out to right tackle, you put our all-pro 98 rating right guard back in there, or left guard, wherever you want it. If you have Bakhtiari struggling, then you get the knee guys right next to each other, and you let them fucking take care of that side of the line. Either way, I like John Runyon on either side, and I also like Zach Tom on either side. So really, to me, this makes the most sense. And I'm not saying Royce Newman can't be a good fucking lineman. He just looks thin to me. He needs to beef up and be an NFL lineman. I need him on the bench, wanting more, resting and recuperating and getting stronger. I don't think he's going to learn on the job. He's getting exposed, in my opinion.
Tyson, it's simple numbers. At this point, he's the lowest rated offensive lineman that we have. He gave up 2 sacks last week. He can run block a little bit, but his pass blocking is atrocious and a big part of the problem. So
it's getting worse.
Yeah. My friends, that's going to take us to commercial number 2.
Yeah, commercial sounds really good right now. Let's go.
Yeah, it's that commercial you were talking about.
You feeling it? All right, let me see. Are you bound up? Too many brats and burgers at your local Packer game in your favorite garage? Well, then guess what? You need Laxia. Laxia. Your number 1 local laxative. It is a fun new product blasting on the scene. Laxia will have you blowing your O-ring in no time. It'll get rid of all the funk you got in your bunk. By the way, Laxia is not responsible for dehydration, trench butt, or numb tongue. Laxia! When you need a cushion for that pushing. The fun thing about the commercials tonight is if you take Laxia and get dehydrated, you can also drink Quench, which is the drink of Two Dads and a Chest podcast. Funny how those work out together. One word to get the win. I want to hear offense, defense, special teams. One word, which I know is not going to happen, especially when I go to Tyson first. Tyson, offense, what do we need for the win? Go.
One word?
Too many words. Okay. And
hold on! Frenzy.
Ooh.
Yeah, you like that?
I did like that.
Feeding frenzy. I don't want you to let up for a second, and I don't want to see any fucking zone. These quarterbacks aren't worth respecting, coach. Why don't we go ahead and kill them? Let's fucking murder them. And with just no, like a bunch of piranhas. They aren't like, oh, I'm kind of worried about that fucking thing that fell into our little pond. Like, no, they attack it and they kill it. I want Piranha D.
Piranha D. I've had that actually down in South Beach. Mayhew, one word answers. Let's just talk about it real quick. Improvements. One word to get the win. Offense. Mayhew.
Efficiency.
Efficiency. Let's talk about defense.
Disciplined.
Ooh, D&D. Played that as well down in the basement.
Special teams.
Special teams.
Aaron, do you have a one word for special teams?
Oh, we're gonna keep going, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna keep going. We broke him. We broke the porcelain prince. Here we go.
Porcelain prince, I love it.
You know what really grinds my fucking gears? The host of this fucking show.
We're gonna move on to a segment that has become tried and true here at 2D and a C. It's, you know what grinds my gears? The segment where we just talk about what upsets us. It might be football, it might be golf, it might be your kids, and most likely it might be. So, Mayhew, what grinds your gears?
Oh, Jazz. What grinds my gears is a man known only as M. Night Shyamalan. All right, I gotta dive in. And people out there might disagree with me, even potentially people on this podcast, but this man has directed a catalog of movies that I think are just fucking atrocious. Okay, this son of a bitch back in 1990, who gives a fuck, made the movie The Sixth Sense, and everybody lost their mind over like, what a twist at the end. He was dead the whole time. Yeah, fantastic. You know, everybody was easily shocked back then. And then since then, they basically gave this guy a fucking bag of cash and a green light to put out whatever ridiculous fucking plot that he can comprehend and throw on the big screen. Now, a lot of big actors have been drawn into these things, okay? A lot of big names. Mark Wahlberg, Will Smith. That's all I can recollect at the moment here. Bruce Willis, Samuel L. Jackson. I mean, that guy's willing to sign on to anything you put in front of him. Point being is that this guy, okay, let's look at some Rotten Tomatoes, just like reviews here. 12%, 5%.
Oh my God, he has data.
36%. 3%. I don't even know. I don't know how a movie can actually be that low, but he continues to kick these pieces of shit out on a regular basis. Now, Chaz, the point to all this is that the other day I ended up accidentally watching 15 minutes of a movie called Lady in the Water, and somebody needs to get punched in the face. Okay, that's all I'm saying. And for me, it's M. Night. And I'm sure I'm looking at a picture of this guy right now. He looks like a nice guy. He's a fucking billionaire too, so he's fine. But M. Night, go fuck yourself. And that's what grinds my gears.
Real quick, if you can tell me this, I will give you what he's worth. What is M. Night Shyamalan's first name?
Minoj.
Shit.
Fuck now. Maybe he did research. He hates this guy that much. Oh, that's good stuff. That is good stuff.
We're gonna thank you, Mayhew. That was actually quite entertaining. Not gonna lie. Tyson, I gotta ask you, what grinds your gears?
Now I gotta tell you, I've been accused by some of having too many things that grind my gears. So I'm just gonna hit you with a quick 7, okay? Real quick 7, all right? Number 1, cable television. What the fuck's going on there? How are we still doing this? How is this still a thing? How is there still like 5 or 6 companies that are pretending that they can control what people want to watch? This is fucking dumb. It should be over by now. It should be over. Cable television, get the fuck out of here and quit with this fucking money grab. 2, Dora the Explorer. What is that dog shit? Am I supposed to fucking show this to my kids? I'm supposed to watch somebody walking around saying backpack, backpack? This is insulting to everybody, okay? Dora the Explorer, suck a dick. Moving on. Blippi. This guy, have you seen Blippi? You know what I'm talking about, Aaron. You know what I'm talking about, Blippi? This guy, maybe you don't know about Blippi. He's just rich. He's just like a rich guy with orange fucking suspenders and orange glasses. And he goes and does cute things, and that's fine. But I could have done that. And he's so rich, guys. This is why I'm on YouTube, because I can't watch Blippi just raking the dough. Okay. 4, all right? The DMV. What the fuck? How is it this inefficient? You guys know they don't even fucking print cards anymore, okay? I went there today, lost my wallet because I'm a fucking wreck, okay? Because I'm a mess, people, all right? So I lost my wallet. I go to the DMV, trying to get a new fucking ID, right? I wait in line for like 700 hours. I finally get up there. I take my picture. I wait for another 700 hours. I pay the people. They're like, all right, I'll be in the mail 7 to 10 business days. What the fuck? I went to the bank. They printed me a card right away. What the fuck? Last one. Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
Bill Belichick grinds my gears all the way down to the fucking screw. Screw you, Bill Belichick.
And that's one thing that grinds Tyson's gears. Ladies and gentlemen, that has been what grinds my gears here at 2D and a C. We want to talk about some final game predictions. First and foremost, gentlemen, it's always fun to have this podcast with you. I just want to have a second just to say you guys are gentlemen, scholars, and savants. Who do we think is going to have a big game this week? And I'm not talking about them. I'm talking just about us. Mayhew, who do you think is going to have a big game this week?
It's a two-piece situation for me, Chaz. I want to touch on this real quick, too, is that Aaron Jones needs the ball more. I like A.J. Dillon, and it's fine, but we need to be game planning around showtime. That guy gets the ball in his hands. He's a difference maker. More of it. And Romeo Doubs, more of him, man. I want this to continue. This was not a one-game situation. This guy has the potential to be elite. So that's who I got my eyes on this week, Jess.
Tyson, who's going to have the big game, baby?
I would love it if Romeo Doubs had a huge game, because he has had an 8 for 8. Dude, you don't get 8 balls from Aaron Rodgers, catch all 8, and then go backwards. Like, I would love to see that double. What if he got 16 balls and he caught all 16, guys? We're dealing with 120 yards. We're dealing with a big fucking game. But none of that happens without Aaron Rodgers. So I got to say, A-Rod, man, he's on a trajectory of starting to come around and look like, I'm sorry, the best quarterback in the fucking league. He has the capacity to do that when he's ready to do it. It seems like he might be ready. This seems like a get-back week. Even though we won that game last week, I feel like people are wondering, is this team for real? This is the week that we can actually show them we're fucking seriously for real. And that comes down to Aaron Rodgers playing better than anyone else on the field. So I'm going to say Aaron Rodgers open it up right for Dobbs.
Who's going to have the first touchdown? Now, and I'm going to open this up. Us or them? And who do you think it's going to be? Us or them?
This one's going to be us, Chaz. I think we're going to end up with the ball first. Like one of those just like classic Packer opening drives, chess pieces moving just in the right places. And I'm going to call Bobby Tonyan this week. I want this guy more involved. And I think, man, I'm seeing it progressively week by week. I feel like an ACL thing, man, like no matter what you say, like, is he on the field? Yes. But does he trust himself entirely? Like that knee?
No.
Yeah, no chance, right? But
he's looking behind him before he looks in front of him. It's unfortunate.
Right. But I want to see a little bit more production in the red zone for him. So I'm hoping. That's my guy.
Tyson, same question. Who's going to have it?
Chaz, is a classic case of the Packers trouncing a legendary coach and possibly making him question if it was all worth it. You know, was it really worth it? Missing little Susie's dance rehearsal, was it worth it? Not knowing the name of your third daughter, was it worth it, Bill? Was it worth it? Well, we're going to find out. I'm going to say Jones catches the first touchdown. I say catches because Aaron Jones is going to get 2 touchdowns.
Ooh.
One's going to be a rushing touchdown that's going to be memorable. And the other one's going to be a catching touchdown that's also going to be memorable. I expect a big, consistent, full-blooded game out of Aaron Jones, even though he's going to have lower carries than last week, but more catches. and I expect him to have a very big game. So I'm going to say he has the first touchdown. Aaron Jones.
I like it. I'm actually going to go kind of along the same vein, but I'm going to say for Cobb. I want Cobb to have a dip and dupe move, where it's a 45 to 50 yard zip-de-doop and goes into a touchdown. And if that's one of 3 carries, that's fine. I just don't know why, but watching him do that zippity-doop boop babadoo beep move that he had for that 40, was it 45 yard carry that he had?
40.6.
40.6. I would love to see him get a score as well. I'm just saying, I love the guy. He's got the prettiest eyes in the game. He looks like a goddamn blue whale with those eyes, but that's what I'm hoping for.
I love it. Love it, Chaz.
Ladies and gents, now we're going to get into the 2-minute warning. This is a little bit more quick-paced. Burp, burp, burp. Not really. Something we normally like to talk about is score. Again, I want a little quick response. Tyson, final score.
42-12. Packers.
42-12. All right. Aaron Mayhew, final score prediction.
Similar boat, Chaz, similar boat. I'm going to call it 35-13. I think whatever
I love it.
It's going to be early and out of the gate, I imagine. Same thing. Defense is going to settle in, do what they do, but I really think this might be the game where the offense starts to find the identity just like a little bit. And yeah, come the end of the game, Patriots just hearts ripped out of their chests, and Bill Belichick will have somebody killed like he usually does after a loss, so.
I mean, I respect it. I respect your thoughts. I respect your opinions. You guys are, again, way more skilled in this game than I am, but again, you're both wrong. It's going to definitely be 97-2 Packers, obviously. I'll keep talking about it until it happens.
Every week. I don't know why you'd stop now. Keep it going.
Why would I?
Can we talk about other people? Can we talk about quarterbacks? I want to talk about quarterback total yards. I got a very specific.
Take it.
Okay.
Let's see what you got.
Aaron Rodgers is going to have a watershed game that is going to remind you, oh, wait a minute. Maybe he's not only right about a bunch of other stuff. He's still probably the best quarterback in football. Oops. Yeah. He's going to have 347 yards, 3 touchdowns, and he's going to have another one rush. So he's going to have 4 touchdowns in this game, and he's going to change everybody's narrative, and everyone's going to start sucking that dick just like they do around this time of year every single year. And I think this is the year. This is the game that is either going to be one of 2 things. It's either a trap game that's going to send us into a position where we need to get our shit together, or it's going to be a game that's going to remind everybody where we're heading. And we're going to reference this game later in the year.
First half, he's going to burn through 3 fucking timeouts. Okay? Same fucking thing, all right? There you go.
Well, since we're in the 2-minute warning, gents, can we talk about favorite memories? Favorite Packer memories? Mayhew.
Chaz, I got a big one here for myself. Okay, everybody, let me set the stage here for you. The year is 2010. The day, January, no, that's not right. December 26th. Okay. Now, Aaron Rodgers had to sit out the week prior because of the concussion that he received. I think it was against Detroit, right? So we actually played the Patriots, and the backup QB at that point was who? T-Bone, Matt?
It's Matt Flynn.
Thank you. Okay, so Matt Flynn sat in for A-Rod. So A-Rod is pissed, right? He comes back. At this point, we are 8-6. We're like creeping on like the border of playoffs, all right? And we are hosting at Lambeau Field the Giants of New York City and the most intimidating quarterback that you and I have ever seen, Eli Manning, right? So my good friend, who is a avid listener of this podcast, by the way, has got family seats, 50-yard line, 20 rows back behind the Packer bench, Chaz. The best goddamn view I've ever, been a part of. Invited myself and my brother to come up there. Now, emotions are high, okay? Game kind of started off a little bit slow. And then with about 8 minutes left in the first quarter, I'll never forget it because it was right in front of us, was what seemed like a simple out route to Jordy Nelson that he took 80 yards to the house where the crowd went fucking nuts. From that point on, boys, the legend of John Kuhn was born in my eyes. This guy had 3 TDs that day, all of them for like 3 yards or less. It was uncanny. It was just like, if you need 2 yards, John Kuhn
Oh,
is gonna
man.
get it for you. He was gonna get it for you.
My kind of legacy.
When that stadium would just go Coon.
I think that's how
Oh.
it started. I do. So final score, boys, was 45-17. We took that win. Took us to 9-6. Came back the next week at home to play Bears in the final game of the season. Jay Cutler in all his fucking glory. That is what got us to the playoffs. And you guys know the rest is history. Last time we won the goddamn Super Bowl, boys. It was magical. And I felt like I was there for the fucking match, the spark that lit that entire fucking inferno, boys. Cheers.
Cheers to that one, Mayhew. Cheers to that one, brother.
Cheers to that. I was at the ultimate Flynn to win final game of the year. Every year we have this end of the year bullshit fest with the Packers and the Lions, usually at Lambeau. Usually it's cold. Me and my buddy, we bought tickets to this game, right? Now I got to tell you, this is one of these games. Now I talk about the magic. I talk about the superstition. You know what I mean? This is one of those games that I can chart the unquestionable magic that happened, okay? I show up with my buddy. He's like, hey, man, what do you think about taking some mushrooms for the game? And I'm like, I've never heard of that. Let's give it a try. So I'm younger, guys. This was 2012. It was a different time, okay? It was the Obama era. It was a simple, easier world. This was okay. So I ate some mushrooms with my friend, and we ended up going to this game. And I keep finding amazing things at this game, one of which is this right here. We called this, we thought it was a baby. We said, what is that, the baby? It is a weird hand warmer. Found that. I found a glove with pom-poms on each finger, okay? I realized that I had a magical power in that game. And when I moved my hand, like Jermichael Finley does, when he got a first down with the glove, instant first downs. What happened? Oh, no big deal. Just 480 yards and 6 touchdowns by our backup quarterback. The all-time leader of Packers history, the greatest performance ever performed in Lambeau Field, happened to me on the day that I happened to be on mushrooms, annoying a lot of families. Moving around, guys. You got to keep moving. When you're at that level of fucked up, you got to keep moving. You're spilling beer. You're bothering people. I don't remember where my seat is. You got to keep moving. And then you know what happens? Touchdown! 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 Exactly. That's what happens. The magic. When you are pure and you are in the Mecca of Lambeau Field and you believe and you're just experiencing it. It was like a snow globe, guys. It was perfect. It was like not even cold. It was a magical day that absolutely changed everything. And it is historic. And unfortunately for the other team too, because I'm pretty sure they put up like 5 touchdowns and 420 yards because, again, the magic was so strong. It was just the gates were open. Like no one could not catch a ball. It was an amazing game.
Tell me about the magic.
A strict non-believer was in my house in this very room.
Wait, who?
Well, happy Mr. Aaron Mayhew. And he doesn't think he believes in the magic. But I'll tell you what, when the chips are down, I realize he's a phase 2 magic conductor. That means that not only does he believe in some magic in fight or flight scenarios, he absorbs other people's strong beliefs and actually conducts more energy. Proof of that is the end of the game. Did you see what happened? We were cheesing up on D. You know who believed? Everybody in the room.
I don't want to cut you off, but I do have to at least ask Aaron to defend himself. Aaron,
did you cheese up on D or didn't you?
Is this true? Did you buy in a little bit? I mean, did you cheese up on D or did you just yes in the situation?
Let's talk about where we watch the games, by the way.
For everybody that has no idea what cheese up on D is, because I fucking certainly didn't, is there are some delicious cheese-based crackers that Tyson has on hand. And when the defense is called upon, they cheese it up, right? So there we were on the 2-point conversion to end the game, and he cheeses it up. And he looks me in the eye. He's passing them out to everybody. It was like communion. Everybody opened up their hand, and Tyson would place like a cracker. And he looked me in the eye. Like I was like, you're not going to do this? I'm like, yeah, dude, give me the fucking cracker. All right, I take the cracker. I eat the cracker. And they
Good things happened. Then what happened?
And then they got the delay of game penalty that pushed them back 5 fucking yards. At which point, Chaz, I reached my hand out again and said, "Give him a cover."
Two Dads and a Chaz has a very, very fun announcement to make right now. For this next week, we are going to be coming to you live from Lambeau Field. I got to tell you right now, one of the dads in Two Dads and a Chaz podcast is having a birthday. I won't say what number it is, but it is my main man, T-Bone. He's having a birthday, and the best way to celebrate him is to actually get all of us together and do a live podcast together up in Lambeau. So we will be live together. We will probably have some fun guests for you. You'll have to tune in and see who. I also want to take this moment to thank a couple of people who have helped make this podcast great. I would love to thank Buddy Ingram for giving us amazing help with editing, giving us sound effects, teaching us how to make this happen. Our sponsors, I don't want to mention them again. I just want to say thank you so much. Go Pack Go. And I think at this point, we can end our podcast kind of the same way we do going into the next week. We're playing the Pats, which would be a hashtag fuck the Pats. Gentlemen, can we agree? A hashtag fuck New England on 3.
Get fucked.
2.
Get fucked.
1. Hashtag
Fuck
New England.
Hey, you chowder. What are you going to do about it?
Two dads and a Chaz putting trophies on the wall. Two dads and a Chaz is talking Green Bay Packers football. Not exactly qualified, but answers the call. Two dads and a Chaz talking Green Bay Packers football.
We gonna break it all down, probably leave out some facts. We gonna make some statements that we'll likely regret. Most of gossip and rumors made straight off the top. So crank up the air conditioning, cause it's bound to get hot.
Two dads and a Chaz, you know we live it and we live it right. Two dads and a Chaz, we gonna break down football for you tonight. Besides them rings and putting trophies on the wall.
Trophies, y'all.
Two dads and a Chaz is talking Green Bay Packers football. Yeah, we're talking Green Bay Packers football.